All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday to the staggering 12, now 13 people that are watching. So thank you to all 13 of you, 8 of which I'm guessing are from WZ. So thank you for the support. This morning, I'm coming to you with Starbucks coffee. I was supposed to go to the DMV to get the vehicle registered, and I got there. I thought I was early. I was an hour early. And I pulled up after getting Starbucks, and no joke, probably 1,000 people in line with like lawn chairs wrapped around the shopping center waiting to get into the DMV. So I was not going to do that. So I will go after this and wait in line with my cold coffee at that point. All right. So this morning, what I wanted to talk to you all about, and this one's going to be relatively quick. Good morning, Cindy, Josh. I say this every time, and then I talk for way too long. But I'm thinking I can keep this relatively brief. It's on your reputation. So what we mean by reputation and what I'm getting at specifically is what can we do to impact how people perceive us in our role? And when you think about this industry, and when I say this industry, I mean interviewing, interrogation, law enforcement, retail, HR, IG, whatever it may be. A lot of times the reputation that a lot of people think when they hear those departments or those job descriptions, they think intimidation. And if you have intimidation as the first thing that pops into somebody's head, if you're looking to get somebody into your room, into your meeting room, your office, whatever the venue is, and have a conversation where they feel comfortable and they can open up and deliver truthful information to you that may be of a sensitive nature, being intimidated is not going to help you in that objective, right? So our job of trying to proactively manage and maintain that reputation in a way that we can try to alleviate some of that intimidation, some of that fear on the front end before they ever even come into our office. That is the goal. So 3 things that I think you can think on and try to incorporate or implement into your daily routines. The first is trying to make intentional positive connections. So what do I mean by, good morning, Wayne? What do I mean by intentional positive connections? I mean, instead of every time that people have a memory associated with talking to you in your role. So if you're a fraud investigator at a bank, the only time that people have had conversations with you is when you bring them in for a problem, then you're going to probably be associated with problems. So if you can intentionally go out of your way, let's say you work in a single store environment, you work in a bank, you work in a facility as an IG, whatever it is, go out of your way to have conversations with people that have nothing to do with fraud. Have conversations with people to check in, see how they're doing, get to know them a little bit, right? So it builds some of this familiarity between you and them. And then if you do have an issue and they get called into your office, it's not going to be as intimidating because they have some level of comfort with you in the first place. This is also going to really be beneficial for you to get information from people. So like boots on the ground information, people who are in the departments in the areas that you're not in every day, where they may come to you with tips, right? Information of wrongdoing that they want to fill you in on so they can get the problems alleviated. And they trust you as an individual that you're going to handle those in a way that's going to be confidential in nature because you've already established those positive connections. So single store or single office environment, that's one way to do it. If you are a multi-unit manager, a good way to do it, instead of when you're traveling markets for problems, right? You're traveling to audit, you're traveling for investigations, selective interviews, whatever it may be, travel for the same reason. Schedule 1 week out of the quarter, if this is doable with your particular schedule and company that you work with, where you're only traveling stores to make positive connections, right? That's it. Now you're going to see what you see when you get into the store. If there's a problem, obviously you're going to have to address it. But the primary objective is literally just to go in and talk to people, and not just store manager or the leadership team side, but talk to everybody, right? Spend time talking to the warehouse staff, talking to the front end associates, whatever it may be. Build those relationships and foster that positive reputation for yourself. It'll pay dividends, whether it's just in people delivering information to you because they trust you, or if it's just kind of alleviating some of that stress and anxiety if you do need to talk to one of these individuals in the future for whatever may come about. So physically making the connections is the first one. Second is, if you can't do that, right? If you can't travel, if you do have multi-unit, it's not an option for you to get into these stores physically. Schedule phone calls, right? Really, really simple. Just pick up the phone, call a store, and check in. Identify who you are. Introduce yourself, whatever it may be. Have a conversation with whoever answers the phone if they're able to do it. Now, operationally, you got to be cognizant of, you don't want to call during, heavy lift times at the particular location when they'd be really busy, whatever it may be. But just call and check in, right? Talk to the person who answers. Don't just say, let me talk to the store manager. Make your rounds, have these conversations, intentionally make connections that are positive and have nothing to do with interviewing, interrogating, fraud, waste, abuse, all of these things that people associate you in a negative light. Go out of your way to just make human connections with the other humans that we work with. It really does go, it goes a long way with the way that you're seen within that company and organization or community if you're in law enforcement. Third thing to consider with reputation is how do we leave people? After we do have an interview with somebody, let's say we interview somebody for some type of integrity violation, they open up, they have a conversation with us. What is the final thought on their mind about us? Did we treat them like a human being? Did we treat them with respect, with empathy? Because if we did, the taste in their mouth of how that situation, how that interaction went is going to be very, very different than the contrast of if we treated them in a way that was disrespectful, if we were forceful, if we were intimidating, if we were coercive, all of these different things. So making sure that Cindy just said I should break out the guitar. You do not want to see that. My wife plays, not me. Making sure that we are leaving people with this idea of what we represent is not negative. We have a job to do, but that doesn't mean that we have to treat people in a disrespectful manner, right? Treat people as though they're not human beings. So when they leave our office, when they leave the police department, whatever it may be, you can guarantee they are going to talk to other people either that work at that store, that live in that community, and they're going to tell them about this experience, at least in some way, shape, or form. If you leave them with a positive experience, at least with how you treated them, this is going to go a long way in the way that others perceive your role and what you represent. So that is it for me today. Everything going on around the world, especially in the United States today. Everybody, please stay safe, love each other, and stay positive. That is all I have for this week. So have an excellent tail end of the week and enjoy the weekend. Take care.